Hey guys, I'm Ryan.
I'm Adam.
And this is Two Neighbors. So Adam, what are we checking out today?
Well, we had a big demand for doing some more Canadian content. So this one, we're doing things you should absolutely never do in Canada.
Things you should absolutely never do in Canada. Huh?
Absolutely never do.
Like-
what could this possibly be?
Wear shorts in February?
Yeah, I
Is
guess.
that one?
I've seen that.
I have too.
Socks and flip-flops. Socks and sandals.
Yeah, you can always when you go to Vegas in the winter, you can always spot the Canadians. Because when it's a desert, it gets cold at night and they're always the ones walking around in shorts and t-shirts, like 5 degrees out, like shorts and t-shirt. 5 degrees Celsius, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow. That's the
got?
first time I've had that. This is the Muskoka Brewery.
Oh,
Hazed and Confused.
a juicy IPA.
It is punchy. That's all. That's all I'll tell you.
I'm gonna try one of those next.
Look into my eyes. You are feeling thirsty, very thirsty. You will desire this New England-styled IPA, bursting with fruity hop aroma, followed by juicy citrus kick. Boy, did I ever feel that juicy citrus kick.
Oh, it's citrus
Right.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely gonna get into that.
Yeah. So, and it's a high alcohol content. It's 6.5.
Okay.
So, sorry, didn't mean to get sidetracked, but that just hit
We
me.
get sidetracked by our beer very easily up here. So, all right. So this is things you should absolutely never do in Canada.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to check out ocanswag.com. Punch in Two Neighbors and you get 20% off.
Rock and roll.
Canada, the Great White North. The USA's northern
John
neighbor
Candy.
is a popular tourist destination for many Americans, but it isn't the same as the States. Despite Canada's reputation for politeness, there are some buttons you don't want to push. Here are some things you should never do when you're in Canada. This is one of those things that should be obvious, but apparently it still needs to be said.
Jim
If you
Carrey?
go to
Carrey,
Canada, do
Canadian?
not make fun of the way they talk.
Hey, what's up, ladies? I thought you were from around these parts, eh? Yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan. What's up in Canada, eh?
When people put on a fake Canadian accent as a joke, it's not even an accurate accent. It's some antiquated and exaggerated version of how some
How's it
Canadians
going, eh?
might have spoken a long, long time ago. Additionally, one of the most commonly
Super
heard
Troopers.
chestnuts is that Canadians say aboot instead of about.
A boot.
Could you tell us again what your argument is all about?
This is not about diplomacy. This is about dignity. This is about respect.
I don't know what they're talking about.
But if you listen to an actual
Alanis
Canadian talk
Morissette.
for like 5 minutes, you'll notice that what they say is more like
Jim
a
Silent
boat,
Bob.
and is actually, thanks to a linguistic shift called Canadian raising, much more complicated. So seriously, lay off the aboot stuff or you'll risk suffering the wrath of an angry Canadian. It might be tempting to think of Canada as some kind of progressive wonderland, where peace-loving northerners reach for the stars, immigrants are embraced and encouraged to paint their faces, and Americans are welcomed with open arms if an election doesn't go their way.
Those of you that think Canada is a mom and pop operation, it's time to wake up and smell the snow.
However, as The Guardian points out, Canada has its share of issues, including the fact that it's the world's second largest arms dealer to the Middle East. Its Albertan oil sands have a bigger carbon footprint than the entire state of California, and its intelligence agencies are allowed to torture prisoners in order to obtain information.
That's all good
These
fun.
are
What?
definitely touchy topics. In short, it would be best to leave politics
I
at
didn't know
home
we're an
unless
arms
you're
dealer.
talking to someone you know well, or if you just want to hear someone completely lose it and go off, Canadian style.
Stop it, okay?
The United States' largest city, New York, enjoys a certain kind of mythologized glamour among Americans. If you can make it there, they say, you can make it anywhere. It's got some of America's best-known landmarks, many of its most famous cultural centers, and apparently some kind of magical water that, according to residents,
Great movie.
allows the world's
Fantastic
only
movie.
good pizza
Ghostbusters
and
2.
bagels to be made within its borders. It
Oh,
would be a
Danny
mistake,
Aiello.
however, to assume that Canada's largest city, Toronto, enjoys the same sort of reputation. In fact, generally speaking, outside Toronto, Canadians hate Toronto. Why? According
That's
to
true.
Vice,
That is
Toronto
true.
has a reputation as an arrogant and selfish city, which not only looks down on the rest of the country, but which has historically been privileged by the government at expense of less elite areas. Additionally, its cosmopolitan opinion of itself is not seen as earned, as the city suffers from crumbling infrastructure. So, if you're outside Toronto,
I don't know about that.
probably don't talk about how cool Toronto is, and definitely don't call it the capital.
The capital, Toronto.
capital of Canada is Ottawa. Yeah, right.
There are certain things that become so firmly embedded into a
Don't
culture
trash
that
talk
they become
him.
part of the cultural identity, and they will be fiercely defended from criticism from any and all outsiders. For Canadians,
The
a
Love Guru
major
writing this
example of such a cultural institution is Tim Hortons, a beloved fast food chain famous for its coffee and donuts, founded by and named after Hockey Hall of Famer Tim Horton. If you go to Canada, under no circumstances should you disparage Tim Hortons. Canadians eat more donuts per capita than any other country in the world.
Agreed.
Donuts are like currency there.
Perhaps one of these would refresh your memory.
How do you say no? Yeah.
Chocolate glaze.
Canadians take Timmy's seriously. Do not talk trash about this cherished national icon.
And just call
Sure,
it Timmy's.
Not
Timmy's.
every
Don't call it
Canadian
Tim
loves
Hortons.
Timbits and a
Timbit
double-double,
bouquet.
but they will tell you that privately, quietly, behind closed doors. If you don't have anything nice to say about Tim Hortons while in Canada, it's probably best that you don't say anything at all, or you might suffer a mysterious head injury. There are a number of other cultural institutions, symbols, and traditions where national identity is so tied up in them that you should probably keep criticism to yourself. These include anything that involves maple syrup, progressive rock legends Rush, the sacred maple leaf, and of course,
Tragically.
Canada's national pastime, hockey. While the US-Canada border is often referred to as the longest undefended border in the world, that's really only true in the sense that it's not defended militarily. There are still civilian police and border security accounting for those coming in and out of each country, and while the relatively relaxed relationship between the two countries might lead you to believe that passage back and forth across the border will be a similarly relaxed affair, you should probably not underestimate border security. Despite Canada's reputation as a polite and apologetic culture, border security and customs agents are trained professionals, so be prepared for a serious conversation.
You ever seen Border Patrol?
North of Canada, you got your Canadoos and you got your Canadon'ts.
While it used to be true that a driver's license was sufficient identification to cross into Canada from the US, that is no longer the case. Nowadays, you absolutely must have a passport or equivalent, and in some cases, you might need additional paperwork, such as a travel visa or veterinary papers if you have any pets with you. Once you've crossed the border into the Great White North, keep up the good behavior, because the authorities will not hesitate to pull you over and ask you a few questions.
On horseback ride.
So be prepared for anything.
Look, madame. Non! Estupide! Frère Jacques Grey pour Marquis de Saturette.
Check out one of those videos right here.
I don't even
French
French, I
videos
know that
about
doesn't make sense.
No.
You know what they call Timbits in America for Dunkin' Donuts?
Donut holes?
They call them munchkins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Munchkins.
Munchkins. Oh, Dunkin' Donuts?
Dunkin'
Okay,
Donuts.
okay.
My dad actually brought Dunkin' Donuts into Ontario, in Canada. Didn't go too well.
Went up against the mighty Tim Hortons juggernaut.
Yeah, no, did not do well. He brought, I think my dad had like six Dunkin' Donuts in Ontario, and it lasted maybe 6 years, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, the Canadian
R.I.P.
culture did
Dunkin'
not
Donuts
line up with
in
the Dunkin'
Canada.
Donuts franchise. We're all about our Tim Hortons. I mean, I'm not a huge I used to be all about Timmy's, and now I'm just kind of like, I'm more upset that Tim Hortons is actually not Canadian.
I know they sold out.
They sold out to the Americans.
Yeah.
So that to me makes me just want to like,
Yeah, so basically,
no offense America, but like, you know, you're all about owning your own shit.
basically what that boils down to is about 75 cents out of every dollar earned by Canadians goes funneled back to the United States through Tim Hortons, because
That's basically it, right?
if I leave the house, there's a 75% chance that Tim Hortons is my first stop before my stated
Well,
destination.
it's
So-
amazing. It's
You have
amazing
to.
how like Tim Hortons is like branded to a culture.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't see that very often. You know, that is one brand that we Canadians stick by, is our Timmy's.
Yeah, and if you want to blend in, guys, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, when you come up here and you want to ask, like, where's the local Tim Hortons? Don't say where's Tim Hortons, like, where's the closest Timmy's? Because you say Tim Hortons, it's like, he's not from around here. You're not from around these parts.
Also, hockey is actually not our national sport.
It isn't.
It's lacrosse.
Lacrosse is our national sport. However, That being said,
I
don't know many lacrosse fans, but I know a whole lot of hockey fans.
Yeah.
Here, so.
What did you think about what they said about Toronto? Because we're from Toronto.
Yeah, well, just north of Toronto, but so it is accurate. It is very accurate that the rest of Canada outside of Toronto, we call it the GTA or Greater Toronto Area, does hate Toronto. But I think our infrastructure is pretty.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Like he's in crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah.
I'm like, it makes it sound like a third world.
I would say
city. I don't know.
we're really good at building condos right now. What we're not good at building is like our transit system.
Yeah, our
transit system sucks. We call it the TTC, which is Toronto Transit Commission, and we have like 3 or 4 lines.
It's horrible.
It's like one giant like U shape, one straight across, and like another one off to the side. But like if you compare those to like New York
or anywhere
else, for how long we've been around and how long that's been going on for, sucks.
Yeah. Especially considering like the horrible winters we get here, and it's like traveling underground is just a good idea.
Yep. Which I do appreciate. We do have the PATH system. So if you ever come to Toronto, there's what we have. It's actually called the PATH, and it connects all the buildings around the main area of downtown together. So you can literally walk kilometers to get to your destination, so you don't have to go outside. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And as well, if you guys are foodies or into entertainment nightlife, Toronto's got a second to none club life, but the biggest draw for a lot of people coming to Canada is
restaurants.
The restaurant. The diversity in restaurants. You can literally spin a globe, point at a nation, and you will find many restaurants probably from that country. We have a lot of diversity in our restaurants and our population, and there's no shortage of amazing places to try and
like Tim Hortons on every corner.
Tim Hortons, exactly. Yeah. So if you come, get your coffee at Tim Hortons, but eat at
anywhere.
Pick a place on the globe and you will find it, guys. So yeah.
So guys, I want to say, we are nice people.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. We do say that. Well, there's always assholes, but generally we're all pretty good. So don't be shy to come to Canada, and we're not gonna get offended. Actually, one of the commenters said, I think, what was it? We were doing like a stereotypical Canadian one, and someone wrote like, I guess a fellow Canadian was like, "Oh, you're not being respectful to Canada." I'm like, dude, because our point was like, you gotta laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Like, the key is to laugh at yourself. And if you can't laugh at yourself, come on, man.
So
you can't laugh at anybody else. So
we tracked down the unfriendly Canadian then. There he is.
There he is. See?
That's the guy.
That goes to my point. There's that asshole out there that's Canadian and, just trying to cause shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, look, if you want to come to Canada,
my gloves.
And I was gonna say, if you want to find an unfriendly Canadian, lace up the skates and the high stick.
Meet him on the ice,
and you're gonna find an unfriendly Canadian. I'll tell you, boys.
It's all true. It's all true. But guys, speaking of Canada, check out ocanaswag.com. They have a lot of cool sweatshirts, t-shirts, crew necks, all Canadian themed, very tasteful. And guess what? We're hooking you up with 20% off if you punch in the code 2neighbors at checkout. 20% off, plus shipping, pay no tax, and get yourself some Canadian swag. There's some stuff for our American friends down south too.
Awesome.
Yeah, what else should they do, Ryan?
Like, share, and subscribe, please, guys. We really do appreciate it. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and thank you for stopping by today.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Later, guys.